Firstly, we'll discussing about the vitamins. And vitamin is generally two types. That is called what? One is that water soluble vitamin. Then another is what? Fat soluble vitamins. So in water soluble vitamin, there is called two types. That is called vitamin C and vitamin B. In fat soluble vitamin, there is vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E and K. So then after we'll discussing about the vitamin that synthesize in gut flora. There is a three vitamins that synthesize in our gut flora. That is called what? Vitamin K, vitamin B7, vitamin B12. Then after we'll discussing about the vitamin A. So vitamin A is generally is a fat soluble vitamins. That is called fat soluble vitamin. Let's discussing about the vitamin A. Vitamin A is a several form. That is called vitamin A is that there are two forms. That is called proformed vitamin A and preformed vitamin A. So always remembers that is called where the we can get oxygen from where, that is plant. So plant is always a pro. So that is called a pro formed vitamin A, that is come from the what? Plant source. So that is come from the plant source. That is called what? Contain a what? Then after what? That is called what? A plant source. Then after in preformed, that is called an animal source. It is come from the animal source. Then after the beta carotene contain a 2 beta iodine ring. Then after here is the animal cell, that is called retinoids. There is a three types of retinoids. That is a retinol, that is a help in the reproduction, and retinoic acid, that is a help in the cell morphogenesis or cell differentiation. Then after we'll discussing about the retinol. That is it produces the 11 cis retinol added to opsin, that is called gives a rhodopsin. Then after it is help in the visual activities. Then after note a very important point, that is called what? A receptor of fat soluble vitamin in liver is what? Receptor of fat soluble vitamin in liver is what? Apose. That is a BVI question, that is called apose. And the site of vitamin A is storage in what? Islet cells and presphenoidal satellite cells. We will discussing the requirements to giving the vitamin A. So in children we have to give a 200 to 400 mg per day. In women or men, that is we will giving the 600 mg per day. In pregnancy we will giving the 800 mg per day, and in lactasis that is giving the 950 mg per day. And there is a source. We will discussing about the source. Source is that is called generally in plant, that is called green leaf vegetable. In animals, that is egg, milk, egg, cheese. Then after we will discussing about the mechanism of vitamin A. We will eat, that is called diet. Then after there is a two diets, that is animals from the animal source, from the plant source. In the animal source, that is called what? It converted into beta carotene, then after retinol, then after retinol, then after retinyl ester, then after chylomicrin. Then after in animal cell, that is converted into retinyl ester. In retinyl ester they are converted into two parts, that is called one is a fatty acid, another is a retinol. In retinol, that is this retinol is connect to this retinol from the plant, where the plant source coming from the retinols. Then after both retinol is work in retinyl ester, then after it is in chylomicrin, then after it converted into the liver 11 trans retinol, then after it converted into 11 trans retinol, then after retinol, then it gives the 11 cis retinol props opsin, that is gives a rhodopsin, that is help in the visual activities. But 11 cis retinol, that is called 11 cis retinol, is in the retinol or retinols, that is called what? Retinol converted into retinal. Then after it help in the gene activated, then after help in the protein synthesis. So of vitamin A is a vision, maintains the epithelium tissue, and it also help in the antioxidant. So then after here is a rhodopsin, that is a visual activities of the rod cell. It is made up from the protein, that is called opsin and 11 cis retinol. That is also a BVI questions. So opsins and 11 cis retinol. Then after we will discussing about the what? Deficiency of vitamin A. Then in generally the deficiency of vitamin A is a xerophthalmia, but we will discussing about the part of the xerophthalmia. So in the first, that is called what? A night blindness. That is a night blindness, that is what is the symbol is X and N, that is called what? Night blindness. Then after conjunctival xerops, that is called XIAB, XIA. Then bitter spots, that is called what? XIB. Then it is also a important question, may be asked in your exam. Then after X2, X2 that is what corneal xeropsis, then X3A this is cletomalacia less than 1 by 3 corneal space. Then after X3B is cletomalacia is equal to or more than 1 by 3 corneal surface. Here is the most of the student are get confuses in here, that is called what X3A and X3B, that is what cletomalacia. In X3A that is cletomalacia is less than 1 by 3 corneal space. In X3B that is cletomalacia is equal to or more than 1 by 3 corneal surface. Then after what? Then after X or XS that is corneal scars. Then after XF that is called xerophthalmia fundus. Then after PXN that is called what? Night blindness in the mother. Then after if the vitamin A will consume a hyper, that is excessive amount of the vitamin A will consume, that is maybe it happen in jaundice, causes a jaundice, vomiting, weakness, headache and hair loss, that is hair loss is also known as alopecia. Then after our vitamin D, that is called vitamin D is also a what? Fat soluble vitamin. What? A fat soluble vitamin. Then after fat soluble vitamin, it is also two types, that is agrocalciferol and chlorocalciferol. So in previously we will study about the plant, that is called what? Which one is the pro form, that is always a plant is always a pro. So here plant give oxygen to us for a breathing, so plant have always ego. So ego calciferol has a plant, so plant have a ego, that's why ego, because it give oxygen to us, so it have a ego, that is called what? Ego calciferol. It is easy to remember, it's a types of mnemonics. So and then after chlorocalciferol, that is called what? Animal cells from the animal source. Then after vitamin D3, that is chlorocalciferol is vitamin D3 and ego-calciferol is a vitamin D2. Then after reassemble, that is stool oils and function, that is called hormones. Then after we will discussing about the metabolism of the vitamin D. So starting, that is in our skin there is called 7-dehydrogenase chlorocalciferol. So in this charts we will discussing about chlorocalciferol is, that is a vitamin D3. So 7-dehydroxy vitamin D3 is in our skin. When the sunlight on the skin, it converted into what? Chlorocalciferol converted into what? 25-dehydrochlorocalciferol by the help of a 25-hydroxylase enzyme. Then after 25-dehydrochlorocalciferol converted into 1,2,5-dehydrochlorocalciferol by the 1-alpha-hydroxylase, then it converted into the calcicetrol, that is called most active form. It is also a very important question, that is what? Most active form in vitamin D, that is what? Chlorocalciferol. Then after we will discussing about the source, that is called what? Generally is a whole egg, cheese, catfish, tuna fish. Then endogenesis, that is called dehydrogenase calcicetrols. Generally we will give to 200 to 4 IU. Then after, what the function of vitamin D? So maintain the calcium level and phosphate level, that is a main function. If anyone asks to what is the main function of vitamin D, so remember one thing, that is called what? Maintain the calcium and phosphate level. Then it help in the bone mineralization. Then after also it help in the immune functions. So then after, what is the deficiency of vitamin D? So that is a ricket in children generally and osteomalacia in the adult. Then after another, that one is the vitamin K, that is called vitamin K. Then after our vitamin K, that is also is called fat soluble vitamin. Vitamin K, that is called what? Vitamin K is a 3 types, that is called what? Piloquine, melanoquinin, and vitamin K, that is a menadonine. So piloquine, that is called, always remember, that is called P, that is piloquine formed from the plant, that is K1, and melanoquinin, that is K2, that is coming from the animals. So then after vitamin K3, that is called menadonine. Then after, generally given to the 400 to 150 mg per day, and source is generally is green leafy vegetable. Then after, what is the function of vitamin K? Remember, that is called function is a very important in this vitamin. So the function of vitamin K is a coagulation, clotting. Then after asking the VVIP question, that is called what, a clotting factor, that is a 2, 7, 9 and 10. Then after it help in the bone mineralization. Then after here is the metabolism, that is called what, COCS2 CCS2, that is called hydroquinone, that is converted into what, that is called what, this is converted into what, alpha carboxylic glutamic acids, that is converted into this one, that is called what, glutaric acid, that is inactive form. And then after this one is the active form of glutaric acid. Then after where the hydroquinone is converted into that epoxide, that is a O2 and CO2 is uses. Then after it is going into quinine after the reductase. Then after it is a reductase to vitamin K, that is called NADH, it's called hydroquinone. Hydroquinone is the also important thing, that is a hydroquinone is also a reductase form of the vitamin K. And here a question can be asked from here, that is called what the epoxide from the epoxide to quinine can be stopped by the warfarin and duramac, that is called what, inactive form, that is gives the inactive form. Then after deficiency of vitamin K is the infantile hemorrhagic disease, that is called infantile hemorrhagic disease. Then after impaired blood clotting, then warfarin, that is antagonistic or anticoagulation of vitamin K. Then after we have a vitamin E, that is called what, vitamin A is the what, 8 topopherols, that is the most active is alpha topopherol, that is its function, it antioxidant. So thanks for watching.